Here I have a Milwaukee fuel single speed angle grinder. Not easy in the ears, as you can hear. This one needs a brand new bearing at the end of the armature. That's up there. That's a Milwaukee part number. You want to take a note of that. So I have to tear this down. First thing I do is take out these 4 screws in the front. And with the 4 screws out, you just pull that straight out. When you have that pulled out, you'll see there's the remains of the bearing there. What you do is you have to get that off. Just lock a pair of vice grips in that and pull it off. There we are. Had to pull that bit off the end. That took a wee bit more work than I thought it was going to take, but it's there now. It's done. So the next step is to put the bearing on, the replacement one on again. So I've tapped that on with a washer and a hammer and a pair of vice grips. It seems to be on nice and flush now, so I'll try and put this together to see what happens. First of all, I think I should do is open this and make sure there's no bits of old debris of the old bearing hanging around inside. Right, now I've it opened. There's the first thing you need to get, the remnants of the old bearing. And that fill coil, just unround that. See, there's, don't know if you saw that. Little parts of the roller bearing, so small. There it is there, that's all there is to it. So, sure get as many bits of that out of the fill coil, and even round the motor, they'll all stick to that. So give them a good clean off, and then we can put it back together and see if it's going to go. That's how you had a good clean out. Now you have to put the screws back in. There's really not much to it. Put the screws back in, put this cover back on, this little vent, and there's a little plastic thing pops in there. There's really not much to it. This front part should slide straight on, straight down in. You may have to wiggle it around a little bit, but it should seat alright. And put in the 4 screws now. Right, that's all the screws in and the batteries in now. I would say it's a fairly successful fix. All you need is a T20 screwdriver and a T10, because somehow, for some reason, the one down in there is smaller. So it's just one T10 and the rest are T20s. The bearing itself will only cost you about £8.15 on eBay. If you put in that number and put in Milwaukee grinder bearing, they'll bring it right up. So that's how you fix your Milwaukee fuel grinder for £8.15 in a few minutes, all by yourself. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.